Wildtracks. Yellowstone is always alive with movement. Life here never stops, and neither can you. To survive, you must stay in motion. Keep up with the changing seasons, or they will catch up with you. In this rugged, extreme environment, the battle for life brings creatures to their limits. Yellowstone is heating up for battle. This is a place where energy explodes and power is tested. Summer is on its way, bringing both challenges and opportunities. The grizzly's awakening. The sun's rays take their time to reach the highest peaks of Yellowstone's super-volcano, slowly warming the rugged terrain. It's in this vast and rugged landscape, shaped by centuries of geological activity, that predators begin to stir after the long winter. With over 600 grizzly bears roaming Greater Yellowstone, the balance of power here is constantly shifting. For a young male grizzly, the harsh winter sleep has ended, and hunger now gnaws at his stomach. After months of hibernation, he awakes into a world that feels both familiar and new. This marks the beginning of his first summer on his own, and with it, a season of dangerous independence. Gone is the protection of his mother. In her place is the wilderness, vast, challenging, and full of opportunity. But with opportunity comes danger. Yellowstone is no place for a solitary bear to thrive without risk. For now, the young grizzly moves cautiously, his large paws leaving deep prints in the soft earth, his keen nose alert to the scents of the forest. The predators of this land, wolves, cougars, and even other bears, have already staked their claims. The rules here are brutal, and every animal is a potential threat. This young grizzly's mother taught him well: always follow the wolves. Their keen hunting instincts can lead him to food when his own skills are still developing. But while following is one thing, fighting for the spoils is another matter entirely. The wolves dominate the winter months, ruling the landscape as a well-coordinated pack. But the bear's growing strength promises that he will not be an easy rival. He's learned to track, to wait, to observe. He's not just waiting for scraps, he's waiting for a chance to strike. For now, the wolves hold control, but the young grizzly isn't backing down. The journey to power, to becoming a force in Yellowstone, has just begun. The race to find food. Yellowstone never lacks for sustenance, but finding it requires skill and patience. As May rolls in, the snow that blanketed the land for months begins to melt, creating an unstoppable rush of water. It is a time of transition, a dramatic change that alters the landscape completely. The rivers, swollen by the melting snow, swell to 18 times their normal size, sending millions of gallons of water crashing over lower Yellowstone Falls. The roar of the water reverberates across the landscape, a testament to the immense force of nature at work. The sheer power of the water is enough to send waves downstream, causing ripples that spread far beyond the river's banks. It's here, along the edge of this rushing torrent, that the beavers are busy. A beaver dad, resilient and tireless, is hard at work maintaining his lodge, much as his ancestors have done for generations. His mate is beside him, helping to reinforce the dam, and inside, their newborn kits are nestled in the warmth of their lodge. This pond is their entire world, a precious haven they've painstakingly built. But as the snowmelt rushes through, the land changes before their eyes. A massive surge of water is on its way, and the mother beaver can sense the impending danger. Her instincts tell her that the lodge, while sturdy, may not withstand the coming flood. As the water rises, the pressure becomes too much, and the dam breaks. The pond begins to drain, threatening the lives of the newborn kits. But against all odds, the lodge holds, and the family survives, just barely. Still, the loss of their pond is a harsh blow. Without it, the beaver family will face an uncertain future. Their survival through another season now depends on rebuilding quickly and finding new sources of food. The grizzlies hunt for baby elk. In Yellowstone, even the most peaceful meadows can transform into battlegrounds in the blink of an eye. A few weeks into the summer, the young grizzly returns to a meadow, a place his mother once brought him to. He remembers it well. This is where he can find his favorite dish, baby elk. The meadows, teeming with new life, are full of potential meals, but opportunities come and go swiftly. The young elk, though small now, will soon grow swift enough to escape the bear's pursuit. His window of opportunity is short. He must act quickly before the elk matures and gains the speed to outrun him. The bear prowls silently through the meadow, his muscles rippling beneath his thick fur. The wind shifts and he catches the scent of something familiar. The elk calf is nearby, trying to stay hidden. But the mother elk is not far either, ever watchful and determined to protect her young. She tries to lead the bear away, but the calf remains still, knowing that even the slightest movement could spell doom. The young elk holds its breath, praying that the bear doesn't catch a whiff of his presence. The grizzly, with its sharp nose, follows the trail, but the elk's scent is faint, nearly invisible against the backdrop of the meadow. For now, the calf is safe, hidden in the tall grasses, its heart pounding in its chest. But the bear knows better than to give up easily. He prowls the meadow with determination, knowing the chase is far from over. The young elk may have escaped for now, but the bear will return. In Yellowstone, nothing is guaranteed, not safety, not survival. Only the strongest, the fastest, and the most cunning will endure. Opportunities from rising waters. As the summer sun relentlessly beats down on Yellowstone, the once dangerous rivers, swollen from spring runoff, now offer new opportunities. The warmth of the water triggers a critical event in the ecosystem. Cutthroat trout begin their annual migration to spawn. These fish, with their bright markings and determined nature, make their way upstream, drawn by the instinctual pull to return to their birthplace. Hundreds of thousands of these fish make the perilous journey, swimming through rapids and around obstacles, braving the many predators waiting for an easy meal. For river otters, the rising waters are nothing short of a feast. Agile and playful, the otters dive into the current with ease, their sleek bodies slicing through the water as they track down the trout. For them, the arrival of spawning fish is a bounty, and the otters waste no time in securing their prize. The trout, rich in nutrients, are the perfect meal for the otters, fueling them for the months ahead. Each catch adds precious calories that will help them thrive in the days to come. However, by late summer, the once welcome sun begins to scorch the land. The temperatures soar and the lush meadows dry up. The geyser basins, a signature feature of Yellowstone's geothermal landscape, begin to lose their steam as the boiling waters recede. Mud pools thicken and harden under the oppressive heat, transforming the landscape into a harsh and challenging environment. The river otters, now forced to find new sources of food, are not the only ones facing a new reality. In this sweltering heat, the bison, Yellowstone's iconic giant herbivores, are feeling the pressure of the changing season. The once peaceful herds now stir with intensity as the males, driven by surging testosterone, prepare for one of the most dramatic battles of the year. The heat only fuels their aggressive drive. Bull bison, weighing over a ton, square off in fierce battles to determine the dominant male in the herd. Their large heads collide with thunderous force, their thick hides absorbing the blows. The air is thick with tension as the bulls fight, not just for supremacy, but for the right to mate. Several females in the herd are now in estrus, and the stakes are high. The dominant bull must fend off rivals, And if he is to keep his place as the herd leader, he must assert his strength against any challenger that dares approach. Each day, he faces a new challenge, endless battles with other bulls, each one eager to claim his position. These duels, brutal and exhausting, can last for weeks, but the price of being number one is steep. The bison bull must fight not only to defend his title, but also to ensure his genes continue into the next generation. Survival for the young bear. As summer slowly gives way to fall, the young grizzly finds himself in a perilous situation. The heat of the season has dried the land, and his search for food has become increasingly difficult. The young bear is no longer the timid cub he once was. He has grown stronger, more capable, and with the coming winter in mind, he knows that he must secure one last substantial meal before the cold sets in. However, this task is easier said than done, as the wolves, his longtime rivals, are always a step ahead. Earlier in the season, the bear had been chased away from a kill by a pack of wolves, and now they are in the midst of a hunt once again. This time, the young grizzly is prepared. His keen instincts and sharper skills make him a more formidable adversary, and he is determined to take his chances. But just as he prepares to move in on a fresh kill, a much larger bear appears. This is no ordinary bear. This is a dominant, experienced male, known for his meat and strength. The wolves, sensing an opportunity, close in on the kill. The young grizzly feels the tension rise, his every muscle go wild with anticipation, but in a surprising twist, he remains calm. He does not rush or panic, instead choosing to observe. The larger bear is distracted by the wolves, and the young grizzly takes advantage of this opening. He moves with stealth, his footfalls silent as he slips closer. The wolves, realizing they can't take on both bears at once, reluctantly retreat. In the end, the young grizzly claims the meal, a triumph that proves his growth and ability to survive. With this hard-earned food, he now faces the coming winter with a newfound confidence, knowing that he has what it takes to endure the harsh months ahead. The cycle of life in Yellowstone is relentless, but the young bear has earned his place in it, and with each challenge he overcomes, he grows stronger. Preparing for winter, the beaver family. As October sweeps through Yellowstone, the chill of winter begins to settle over the landscape. The beaver family is in the midst of their most critical preparations. Their once thriving pond, a safe haven during the warmer months, is slowly freezing over, turning into a solid sheet of ice. The family works tirelessly, collecting sticks and branches, knowing that they have only a limited time to gather the food necessary to survive the long, cold months ahead. Every day is a race against the encroaching ice as they continue to build their lodge and secure a supply of food that will last them through the harsh winter. The young kits, now more active and learning from their parents, are eager to contribute to the effort, but it's the adults who are doing most of the heavy lifting. They gather nearly 100 trees, carefully selecting those that will provide the best nutrition during the winter months. Each branch they store beneath the ice is a lifeline, ensuring they have enough to sustain them when the land is blanketed in snow and their pond becomes a frozen wasteland. As the temperatures drop, the beaver family's world becomes more challenging, and their survival depends on how well they prepare. The grizzly's winter feast. The harshness of winter strikes Yellowstone without warning. By the time October comes to an end, most of the grizzly bears in the region have begun their hibernation, retreating into dens to escape the brutal cold. Yet not all of Yellowstone's grizzlies are prepared to sleep through the winter just yet. One massive male, still awake, roams the land in search of sustenance. His search leads him to the remains of a bison recently fallen, and he savors the rich meat. For this grizzly, winter is not just a time of rest, but a time to stockpile strength. As the snow begins to blanket the landscape, food grows scarce, and every meal becomes a matter of survival. The larger predators, like this grizzly, must take advantage of any opportunity to feast before the deep winter sets in. With their metabolism slowing down in preparation for hibernation, grizzlies like this one must ensure they have enough calories stored in their bodies to endure the months of dormancy ahead. In the same landscape, the bobcat prowls the edge of the forest, her sharp eyes scanning the icy river for prey. Silent and patient, she's a skilled hunter, accustomed to moving through the snow and stalking her quarry without detection. Today, she strikes and catches a massive trumpeter swan, a rare victory. However, her triumph is short-lived. The scent of her kill attracts a coyote, always on the lookout for an easy meal. The coyote circles, knowing that the bobcat's focus is on her prey, and if the opportunity arises, it will make its move. For the bobcat, winter means a constant battle for every meal, with rivals lurking at every turn. Challenges for the river otters. For the river otters, the challenge of winter is fast approaching, and their world is beginning to freeze. The once lively Yellowstone River, where they've spent months hunting and playing, is now slowly solidifying into ice. The otters, nimble and quick, can still navigate the water, but they know they have little time before the entire river becomes impassable. The young otter, still learning the ways of the water, has become adept at stealing his mother's catch. But soon, he will have to master the art of fishing on his own. Winter in Yellowstone is brutal, and the young otter faces a steep learning curve. As the river freezes and food becomes scarcer, the otters must rely on their wits and agility to survive. The young otter's playful nature is tempered by the harsh realities of his world, and the competition for food becomes fiercer. Coyotes, always hungry and opportunistic, wait in the shadows, hoping for a chance to snatch an unwary meal. For the otters, the stakes are high. Winter is a time when only the strongest and most resourceful will survive. Bison's journey through Yellowstone's winter. In the deepest, coldest months of winter, Yellowstone's vast landscape transforms into a frozen labyrinth where only the most resilient creatures can survive. The air grows sharp, and the snow piles higher with each passing day. The once familiar meadows and forests become treacherous, covered in thick layers of ice and snow. For many of the animals that call this place home, these harsh conditions present a formidable challenge. Among these survivors is the bison, an ancient and powerful species that has roamed these lands since the end of the Ice Age. Having withstood countless harsh winters over thousands of years, the bison are the very symbol of endurance and strength in this frozen wilderness. But this winter holds a different challenge for one young calf. It is the calf's first winter, and everything feels new and dangerous. The biting cold penetrates through his thick coat, and the deep snow seems to stretch on forever. The winds howl relentlessly, and the landscape becomes an endless sea of white, making it difficult to find food or shelter. For a creature as young and vulnerable as this calf, survival in such a hostile environment is not guaranteed. The heavy snow makes it hard for him to keep up with the rest of the herd, and the cold gnaws at his body, threatening to wear him down. The bison herd, led by older, more experienced individuals, continues its journey through miles of snow-covered terrain, knowing that they must find the geyser basins, their only hope for survival. Unlike the spring and summer months, when the meadows are lush and green, winter offers nothing for the bison to graze on. Food is scarce, and the relentless recede makes it difficult for the bison to find anything to sustain them. But the herd knows where to go. The geyser basins, heated by the geothermal activity beneath the Earth's surface, provide a rare and much-needed refuge from the icy grip of winter. The journey to the geyser basins is long and grueling. The bison's massive hooves break through the deep snow with every step, creating deep tracks in the snow-covered landscape. The calf follows the herd, slowly learning to navigate the deep drifts. Though each step feels like an exhausting effort, along the way the young calf witnesses the immense resilience of the herd as the older bison maintain their steady pace despite the harsh conditions. The warmth of the geyser basins seems so far away, but it is the only hope they have. The steaming waters, the sulfurous air, and the geothermal heat are their salvation. As they reach the basin, the calf begins to understand the true significance of this destination. The geyser basin is a place of life amidst the harshest conditions, an oasis in the middle of a frozen world. Here, steam rises from the ground, and the warmth of the earth radiates up from beneath the snow. The air, heavy with the smell of sulfur, is different from the gust crisp air they've been struggling against for weeks. The bison find not only warmth, but a source of food in the grasses and plants that still grow in the fertile soil near the geysers. The geothermal heat creates a rare ecosystem where life can thrive even in the midst of winter's fury. The calf, exhausted and hungry, is finally able to rest, knowing that he has survived his first winter in this harsh and unforgiving place. It is here in this land of fire that the bison will find the strength to endure until the warmth of spring returns. The otters struggle for survival. While the bison herd finds its refuge in the geyser basin, the river otters face their own set of challenges. The once flowing Yellowstone River, which in warmer months provided an abundant source of food and water, is now beginning to freeze over. The river otters, agile and quick, are used to navigating the icy waters, but this winter is particularly tough. As the temperature plummets and the river begins to freeze, the otters know that their days of easy access to food are dwindling. They must race to find the last remaining patches of open water, knowing that once the river is fully frozen, their chances of survival will be drastically reduced. The otters' sleek bodies and webbed feet make them excellent swimmers, but in the winter, they must work harder than ever to find food. Fish and other aquatic life are becoming scarce, and the otters are forced to search for smaller streams and pockets of water that remain unfrozen. But the dangers of the winter landscape are not just limited to food shortages. As the otters move swiftly through the snow and ice, they must also be vigilant of the predators that lurk nearby, hoping for a chance to strike. A lone wolf, hungry and desperate, has been tracking the otters. Wolves, like the otters, are built to withstand the cold, but even they are pushed to their limits in such a harsh winter. The wolf knows the otters' habits well. He has hunted them before, and he senses that their vulnerability is at its peak. The frozen river provides little cover for the otters, and their usual routes are cut off by the ice. The wolf waits on the edge of the river, patient and calculating, knowing that the otters are at their most exposed now. The otters, aware of the wolf's presence, are constantly on edge. Every shadow on the snow is a potential threat, and every rustle in the brush sends them into a heightened state of alert. They move quickly, searching for food while keeping a wary eye on their surroundings. For the otters, survival is a delicate balance of finding food, avoiding predators, and conserving energy. As the temperatures continue to drop and the frozen river stretches endlessly before them, their struggle for survival grows ever more desperate. The once thriving Yellowstone River, now a frozen expanse, becomes a barrier between the otters and their food. The otter's journey to find open water is fraught with danger, not only from the freezing temperatures, but from the predators that use the winter to hunt more effectively. The lone wolf is just one of many dangers they must face. In this cold, unforgiving season, Yellowstone's wildlife is pushed to the brink. The otter's instincts are sharpened, and every decision they make could mean the difference between life and death. Despite the dangers, the otters press on, determined to survive the harsh winter, just as the bison do. In this land, where life clings to existence amidst the snow and ice. In the heart of Yellowstone, where extremes test every creature, life endures and thrives against all odds. It's a testament to resilience and the wild beauty that defines this extraordinary land. To witness more of these incredible stories, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay connected with the untamed world of Yellowstone.